I'm going to do a quick talk today on Feedly because it's one of my favorite things on the internet. And it's really revolutionized the way that I use the internet for everything, not just genealogy. But we're going to focus today on how you can make the internet work for you and your genealogical quest. And I think what you'll find today is that this tool is just perfect for bringing the internet to you. So let's talk first about what is an aggregator. Feedly is an aggregator, and there are many, many types of aggregators. You do not have to use Feedly. It's one of those things that you can search for aggregators and choose a different one if you want. Microsoft Outlook has an aggregator. There are a number of different ones online, but I've just used Feedly for a number of years and really like it. But an aggregator will compile things. It compiles like the news, website updates, blog posts, podcasts. I use it for ancestry message boards and surname boards. And what it does is it compiles that all into one account until you are ready to read it. So what's involved is a username and password, an email address and password, and it's free. There is an upgrade to it if you want, but just about everything is available on the free side. And I love this tool because I use it for genealogy all the time. So let me talk a little bit about what is an aggregator. So what I'm doing now, this is just kind of a visual of what I'm doing right now with the internet. So what I'm doing is I'm reaching out to Ancestry's message boards, genealogy blogs. I'm typing in the genetic genealogist, Blaine Bettinger, the legal genealogist, Judy Russell, Dick Eastman. I'm typing those all in and going there to see, do they have anything new? Conference blogs for those of you that attend NGS or OGS or NERGC or any of the Southern California. If you subscribe to conference blogs, webinar blogs, you're going to want to use Feedly. It will greatly speed up the information coming to you. Archiving websites like the National Archives has a feed that you can see what are the newest things they've added to their collection. If you listen to podcasts like the Genealogy Guys podcast, library feeds, any of those kinds of things that you're now going out and searching for, if you use a tool like an aggregator or Feedly, what'll happen is those things will all come to your account. And so it is a tremendous time saver, streamlining those things that you're interested in. So we're going to go through a number of different ways that you can use it. What does it look like? How does it function? But I will tell you, it allows me to go through a tremendous amount of information and saves me a lot of time. So why is it useful? Well, the information that you want waits for you. So if there have been updates, let's use Judy Russell, the legal genealogist blog. If she had an update Tuesday and another update Wednesday, but you didn't go look to see if she had any updates, Feedly will hold those for you until you have a chance to look at them. You don't have to remember all the places to search and when you last searched. I mean, for heaven's sakes, we have enough things we have to do on a daily basis. We don't want to have to put in 120 surnames into Ancestry's message board to see if anybody posted something new. You'll be more efficient. It'll save time for other tasks, and you can quickly peruse. You can check through dozens of sites and updates all at once. So you're basically headline reading until you stumble on something that you want to really investigate. It's free. Like I said, there is a paid version. Once a year, I believe it's $49 for Feedly Pro. But again, you can get a ton of mileage off of the free side. It's ready whenever you are. You can use it on a browser. You can use it on the web. You can use it on a mobile device like a tablet or a phone or a Kindle or Nook, an e-reader. So a number of different ways you can access it. It also syncs automatically when you're logged in. So from one device to another, if you're on the internet and logged in, it will synchronize so that you don't have to go back and look at what you already looked at previously. So how do you add things to Feedly? Well, if you go to feedly.com and you set up a free account with your email address and password, there is a place there where you can add content. You can click on that and you can explore different topics. So I know it's very faint there. It's kind of light gray on white, but you can type in topics like genealogy. And then what happens is what populates are some very common high volume genealogy websites like the Ancestry Insider, Dear Mert, Ancestry's blog. And then if you choose to add them, you'll see that there's like a green plus sign there, and you can add those feeds to your account. And so there are hundreds of them under topics like genealogy, family history, that sort of thing. And of course, if you have other interests, if you're interested in quilting or canning or sewing or any number of things, you can add feeds to your list. So you can add things also by finding what's called the RSS logo. And RSS means really simple syndication, but websites have this particular logo that tells you that they have a feed that you can paste into Feedly. So you don't have to just choose default categories. You can actually use your favorite blog. Let's say you found a blog that you really love and it's about your Welsh ancestors in Ohio in 1818, and you want to paste that link into Feedly. You can do that. So RSS feeds allow you to receive updates from websites and aggregate lots of different data from different sites. So you can subscribe to them and you can remove them. It's just one of those things that you can manage in Feedly, and you can determine whether you want to still receive those feeds. Your library probably has a feed. So this is Montgomery County, the Dayton Metropolitan Library. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen, at least when I did this screenshot, they had an RSS feed there. But if they don't still have that, you can take the main URL and paste it into Feedly. And what you'll get there would be a running list of new things that are added. There's a new collection, there's a new event, there's a new, whatever the case may be going on at the library, a new genealogy event. You can see that in Feedly. So libraries have them, archives have them, news sources have them. So you can copy that link. When you click on RSS, you'll get the link and you can take it right into Feedly. And then what'll happen is all of those things will aggregate or pile up while you're waiting to read Feedly later. You can add your society page from Rootsweb. So you can go to the Montgomery County Chapter Society page, and this I think has migrated recently, but you can paste that link in. And the Rootsweb message board you can paste in, or the groups.io you can paste in. So whatever the current situation there is, depending on which society you're in. The boards at Rootsweb you can paste in. Now, most of these are defunct now and have moved to groups.io, but there are still some out there where I get messages from them, and I'm not sure how that's working, but I do sometimes still get messages from those. But you can paste those in as well. Anything with a URL you could paste into Feedly and see if it will give you updates. And I've found very few things that do not. So almost everything does. So I can do some demos on how to add content and search Feedly's categories and how to paste into a website and find an RSS, and how to check your surnames and that sort of thing. So I'm going to pull up Feedly's site and we can go through that. So I've pulled up Feedly online, and what I have here is the contrast, the reverse image setting. You can set it on dark mode. I do that because of my vision. So I have a number of different vision problems that make that gray on white kind of difficult for me, but you can change any of those kinds of things in the settings. So what you'll see here is that I have feeds over here on the left, and these are just categories that I have set up. So entertainment, family history, surname boards, and so on. And what you'll find is that over here on the right are the number of different things waiting for me to read. So some of them have more than 1,000 things waiting for me to read. And so I'm going to peruse those pretty quickly. But most of the ones that I read pretty regularly, family history and surname boards and things, have lower numbers. Here's the settings, so you can get into there and change the mode, how large the font is, you know, those kinds of things. And if you want to add something to Feedly, here's the plus sign where you can add new features or new places that you want to follow. So you can paste a URL there. So we're going to open that so you can see what that looks like. So here you can discover genealogy topics, or let's go with genetics. Let's go with genealogy. That's probably of most interest. So you can see here, Dear Mert's blog, you can follow. This one, it shows that I'm already following it. I'm already following Judy Russell. I'm already following Genia bloggers. So these are some sites that you can see if there's anything new that you want to add. Let's say I want to add Dear Mert. I can do that. And then I'll choose which category to put it in. So very, very easy to do. The other thing that you can do is right here, instead of pasting in a category, you can just paste a URL. So if you want to follow something that isn't in a particular list, but it's of interest to you, you can do that. And then there are other industries and featured websites and things you can explore too. So if you're interested in any of those. So let me show you the family history folders that I have and what it looks like. So we're going to pick DNA Explained, Roberta Estes log. So I have subscribed to her blog through Feedly. So I've just added the URL. And these are the unread articles that came up since the last time I was in Feedly. So these are all the updates that Roberta made to her website or her blog since the last time I was there. And the most recent is going to be at the top and the oldest will be at the bottom unless you change the settings on that. So this is Roots Tech Connect. She's got her session she was doing. She's got in here Roots Tech opening day announcements and different things like that. So I can very quickly look through here and say, you know what, I really want to read about life revealed through the newspapers. So I'm going to open that. And then what you see here is what she wrote. And you can read it, read it, read it. If you want to, you can save it. You can send it. There's lots of different things here. Bookmarking it to read later. You can save it. You can send it to OneNote if you have OneNote. And OneNote will open and it'll save the article there. You can send a link, copy the link. You can upload it to Facebook or any other number of things. Including, you know, Instagram, Facebook, well, Instapaper. I don't know what that is. Evernote, OneNote, Twitter, LinkedIn, they're all in here. So, so there's a lot of different ways you can use it. And then when you're done scrolling through here, these will be marked as read and you won't need to come back and review them again. So it's a really great way to get the most out of your reading time. Let me show you one more thing before we go back to the presentation. This is what the surname boards look like. Now, again, the surname boards at Ancestry are, some of them are working right and some of them aren't, and I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but let's just open one that's, it's got a few in there, the Fitzgerald family. So this is the feed for the Fitzgerald family. And so there are 4 posts here, and it tells you all the way at the far right how many days ago those posts were made. But this is the Fitzgeralds of Tennessee, Virginia. Here's Fitzgerald, give me a phone call with a phone number, and other Fitzgeralds that I might be interested in. Well, my Fitzgeralds are in Ohio, and we're in Ohio for a long time, since the 1820s. But that doesn't mean that these aren't of interest to me, because they ultimately probably came from Virginia or Tennessee, or maybe came from Ireland, of course. So I might be interested in looking at all of these, but I can open up the first one, and it just shows you, I'm searching for my great grandfather, Maurice Fitzgerald. Family history says this. So you can get a lot of information out of these. And so I use these to develop some leads on cousins, but also for other information. Some people post resources. So they're a really great way to use the internet to your advantage. So now we're going to finish up by talking about the ways that I use Feedly, some of the great blogs that I use, and post in there to get updates. So FGS, of course, merged very recently with NGS in 2020. But the conference blogs, Dick Eastman, I love Genia Musings, Judy Russell, the legal genealogist I've mentioned many times, Genealogy Tip of the Day, Geneo webinars, Blaine Bettinger's site, The Genetic Genealogist. So these are just a number of different genealogy blogs, and you can pause this and write some of those down if you're interested. Some of the great websites that I subscribe to, the Genealogy Guys podcasts. Cindy's List is a website full of all kinds of links and places to go, and Gravestoned. There are a number of different ones that I've included in my list of websites that I trace as well. There are some great archive websites and genealogical society websites. So NARA, which is the National Archives blog, the Ohio Genealogical Society, the Dayton Metropolitan Library, or any of your local metropolitan libraries, local genealogical societies. And I would also throw in here, most recently, the Ohio History Center. They have a really great blog that comes out pretty regularly, full of Ohio history. So how do I send out or save what I found? What happens frequently with these sites is that they update and they look a little bit different, but you have options of saving things for later, sending to OneNote. You can create a tag for it. You can email it, Twitter, Facebook, the usual social media. So if you open up something and you want to read it and you want to save it, you want to send it, there are some ways to do that as well. You can organize Feedly. This is just a screenshot from the iPad, but you can organize, you can give it a theme. There are colors, there are preferences. Again, remember I said that I put mine on dark mode so that it was a little less eye strain. And then there's all kinds of other download the mobile app and browser extensions and so on. So there's some great stuff in the settings. You can do themes to give your blog kind of a personal look, color-wise, contrast-wise. You can do preferences. And so I recommend that you go through and kind of explore these settings while you're getting used to it. You can do a free account, or you could do Feedly Pro. And I believe it's gone up to $49 this last time that they took money out. But Feedly Pro integrates with OneNote or Evernote, and that's what the component about it that I use. And then you can article search within Feedly, which is a kind of a bonus search feature. And those are really the two major things that you get with Pro. I'm sure there are more, but those are the two that I use as opposed to free. Thanks for coming today, and I really appreciate that you have hopefully learned something about Feedly and you're interested in trying it. That's one of the best things I think for the internet, is to hone in, have it work for you, have things delivered to you. Save yourself the time of searching. Thanks, everyone.